Every insight deserves an audience. Welcome to Atypica AI.
The university degree is dying, and most people don't even realize it's happening. After investigating the shifting landscape of higher education and alternative credentials, I've discovered something that will fundamentally change how you think about investing in your career. The traditional four-year degree has become one of the worst financial decisions you can make for most professions. But here's what's really shocking. The data shows that 90% of Americans still think some credential matters, yet fewer than half believe a college degree is very important anymore. This massive gap reveals the biggest career opportunity of our generation, and I'm going to show you exactly how to capitalize on it. Let me be direct about what's happening. We're witnessing the collapse of what I call the degree premium, that extra value you supposedly get from having a bachelor's degree. The numbers are brutal. Traditional college graduates are drowning in debt, with many owing tens of thousands to over $100,000, while bootcamp graduates with just 3 to 6 months of training are achieving 80 to 90% employment rates and seeing 77% salary increases for those without prior degrees. You're probably thinking this sounds too good to be true, but the research proves otherwise. The problem isn't just costs, it's that universities have become fundamentally misaligned with what employers actually need. I discovered that 64.8% of entry-level positions. And here's the kicker. Companies report 25% higher performance ratings and 40% lower turnover among skills-based hires compared to traditionally credentialed employees. Think about that. The people without degrees are literally performing better at work. But before you panic about your existing degree or rush into the first bootcamp you find, you need to understand something critical. The effectiveness of any educational path isn't universal. It depends entirely on what job you're trying to hire that education to do for you. Through my research, I identified 4 distinct types of people making educational decisions right now, and understanding which one you are will determine your entire strategy. First, there's the career switcher. These are people stuck in declining or unfulfilling industries who need the fastest possible path to a new, higher growth field. If this is you, alternative credentials are your golden ticket. I interviewed Maya, who went from retail management to data analytics through a bootcamp program. She told me the traditional degree path would have meant crippling student debt and years of theoretical learning, while her retail career continued stagnating. Instead, her bootcamp gave her job-ready skills and a portfolio that landed her a position within months of graduation. Then there's the career accelerator. You're already established in your field, but realize your degree has become just a starting block, not a competitive advantage. The brutal truth is that credential inflation has made your bachelor's degree the new high school diploma. Alex, a marketing specialist I interviewed, put it perfectly. His degree was now just baseline, not a differentiator. For career accelerators, targeted micro-credentials and industry certifications offer the fastest ROI because they add specific, immediately applicable skills to your existing foundation. The third group is foundation builders, typically people at the start of their careers who want maximum optionality. Here's where I'll surprise you. Traditional degrees still make sense for some foundation builders, particularly those entering fields with rigid credential requirements. But even here, the landscape is changing rapidly. Finally, there are purpose seekers, successful professionals who've achieved traditional career success but feel profoundly unfulfilled. I spoke with Sophia, who left her HR management role to become a psychological counselor. For purpose seekers, the choice isn't about ROI in traditional terms. It's about alignment between your work and your values. Now, which type are you? Because this determines everything about your next move. If you're a career switcher, stop wasting time researching traditional programs. The data is clear. Boot camps and intensive certificate programs offer the most direct path to employment. Look for programs with transparent employment statistics and strong industry partnerships. Maya's advice was crucial. Focus on programs that build portfolios, not just give certificates. If you're a career accelerator, adopt what I call the mix and match approach. Identify the specific skills gaps holding you back and target them with laser precision. One professional I interviewed increased their value dramatically with a $200 certification course that provided immediate ROI. The key is speed and specificity. But here's what everyone needs to understand, regardless of which type you are. Employers are fundamentally changing how they evaluate candidates. Brenda, a talent acquisition manager I interviewed, told me her company now prioritizes speed to productivity over pedigree.
They want to see what you can do, not where you learn to do it. This shift creates a massive opportunity, but also a trap. The opportunity is that you can now build a competitive skill set much faster and cheaper than ever before. The trap is that with so many credential options available, it's easy to fall into what I call the credential-collector mindset, accumulating certificates without strategic focus. So what should you do right now? First, honestly diagnose which of the 4 types you are. Don't choose based on what sounds impressive, choose based on your actual situation and goals. Second, if you're considering any educational investment, demand transparent outcome data. What percentage of graduates get jobs? What are the actual starting salaries? How long does placement take? Programs that won't share this data are programs you should avoid. Third, focus ruthlessly on demonstrable skills over credentials. Build a portfolio that shows what you can create, solve, or improve. The market is shifting toward proof of work, and this trend is accelerating. The old model where you got a degree, found a job, and stayed there for decades is dead. The new model requires continuous learning and strategic skill building. But here's the good news. If you understand these shifts and act strategically, you can build a more valuable, flexible, and fulfilling career faster than any previous generation. The degree monopoly is breaking. The question isn't whether this will affect you, it's whether you'll be ahead of the curve or behind it. Based on everything I've discovered, the smartest move is to start treating your career like the dynamic, skills-based marketplace it's already become. The data doesn't lie. Alternative paths aren't just viable anymore for most people, they're superior.
Want to learn more about interesting research?
Check out
Atypica AI.